There, Tracy here, and I have a layout in process called I Love This Picture. As I was making this layout, I just kept thinking, I just love this picture of my son, and so that's why I ended up naming the layout, or titling the layout that. And here I am using a screen that I got that's a Prima, and I'm trying to do a background. That is just watered down craft paint that I'm spraying with the white, but I don't end up using it. So there you go. You see I turned the paper around. I preferred it just with just the brown. That's a dark brown cardstock that came. This is all stuff from the new, well, it's not the new kit, it is the October Studio Calico Kit, and this is the first layout I'm doing with that kit. And you can see those are pink paisley little tags, and those Heidi swap letters, those actually came in an old kit, and I am going to end up using them. And then those little ribbons, the green and the turquoise, those came in the kit, and they're just perfect. I love those two colors together, that like olivey green with the turquoise, kind of grayed out muted turquoise. Here on this tag I'm adding that's a punch, a Stampin' Up punch. It's sort of a fancy circle, and then I use just that regular old hole punch to make that a true tag. And then I doubled up the two different ribbons and tied those like that on the top to make a true tag out of that. And the papers are all from the Studio Calico Kit. Again, they are the sort of triangular checked or plaid, actually, in the back, the green, which I love that paper. It's very masculine. That is Fancy Pants Designs, yes, and it's Happy Go Lucky, the Happy Go Lucky line, and it's called Easy Going. And then the one that has multiple designs on it, that's a Studio Calico, and that's Print Shop Collection, and then the name of it is Print Shop. And then oh, I haven't used this one yet. I'll wait to see what that one is when I use it. Oh, and I matted the picture on the flip side of Print Shop. And so now I'm going to have the title. I know that I want to say I love this picture, and so I made sure I had all the letters and that I want them to go right there, which I do, and I'm going to use my tiny attacher to attach them. From this view and just with the camera, it looks like you can't see the letters, but I'm looking at the layout right here, and the way they catch the light, absolutely, they're very clear. And I guess it's because they're see-through, so the camera picks them up a little bit funny, but I really love the way that title came out. So I'm tiny attaching each letter, and then I'm going to use this Scraptastic stamp, and it says I love this, I heart this, and I'm trying to figure out what to stamp it on as a background so that the stamp shows real nicely. And then I decide, oh, I'm going to use a sticker tag, which I go through my stash and find one that is like an olive green to go with the greens. I think I'm looking right now for a tag, and I did have a difficult time finding the right tag. This ultimately ends up being a rather simple layout, but I really love it. I absolutely love this picture of my son, so I really wanted that to be the highlight and not over embellish it. just kind of depends on my mood. Sometimes the embellishments and the sort of art of the scrapbooking is the highlight of a layout, and then other times I'm really focused on the picture. I thought that I used my new camera stand for my last layout, and I believe I even said that as I was talking in the voiceover, but actually I think this is the first time I used it because the lighting is much better. So my husband over the weekend, he made me a nice new stand, and it's got lights on it, and he's going to add more lights actually. So I have that wood veneer arrow that I'm going to put there, and now I'm sort of trying to figure out what else do I want on here. It obviously needs more, and I found that paper in the kit that has the cameras there. That's a Studio Calico, and it's called Tourist. Love that paper. I was gonna say, they look like hand drawn, but not overly done. You know, pretty nicely drawn cameras. And because they're hand drawn, I went ahead and outlined just that paper, and I really like that paper, and so I really wanted to sort of highlight it, and so that's why I outlined only that paper. I actually thought about going back and outlining every single paper on this layout, and I could have outlined all of them. The layout would have looked, it probably would have actually looked better, but it's alright without it. Sometimes, you know, you regret the things you didn't do, but you gotta be okay with it. So I tiny attached that little strip up there that I'm working on, that cluster up there on the right, and now I'm pretty sure that that's where I want, or I am sure that's where I want that, all that I've been working on to go, so I went ahead and glued it down. And now I'm just fiddling around with how to go about embellishing all of these. I thought about putting a wood veneer over one of those 3 cameras, and I kept taking it off and putting it back and taking it off and putting it back. And ultimately, I do not leave it up there. But I do put the larger wood veneer right next to Love. And then I have these gems that are sticky like a sticker. I think I might have gotten those at Michael's a really long time ago. And I put the one in the middle of the camera, it is like an olive green, so it was perfect. And then now I'm adding some enamel dots, and I did put one of the gems in the middle of one of the cameras up at the top too, and that gem is more of like a turquoise blue. It's more blue than turquoise, but it worked. And then I'm just doing turquoise and green and kind of aqua enamel dots everywhere. And then I put that heart, that's a Skipping 5 puffy heart that has sort of an olive green and a turquoise in it, so it was just the perfect heart for this. And now I'm splattering ink, and I just use paper towels to cover. So I have some white paint, and then some, I think that's Passport ink, and then I am also going to go around and outline the outer edge of the background paper. Whoops. That really sums it up. Yeah, I'm about to do that now. And as soon as I did that, it just was perfect. I loved it. This was one of those layouts that came together very nicely. You know, real easy. Nothing, I didn't have to overthink it, or it just kind of came together. So that's it. There's the close-ups, and I hope you've enjoyed it. Thanks so much for watching.